Jeremy White Podcast. Tuesdays at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific.
Available wherever you get your podcasts.
The Jeremy White Podcast.
With Bustan. For the best Lebanese cuisine in Montreal, it's got to be Bustan. Visit bustan.ca.
And loudtracks.com. Helping fans connect to their favourite artists. 100% high quality, officially licensed band merchandise that supports the artists you love. Visit our official band merch store at loudtracks.com. Watch the Jeremy White Podcast exclusively on YouTube.
Jeremy.
Thank you.
And I'm
Britney fan?
And I'm the old guy. So
I could go on about Britney for a very long time, though.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Which team are you on? Are you Team Britney or Team Britney's dad?
Oh, is that even a question? Don't like that. That'd be crazy.
I'm going to go Tucker on everybody. Leave Britney alone.
Oh, my
Chris
God.
Crocker.
Whole podcast about how much people overlook the absolute abuse that Britney has been going through from the media, not just her parents and the people who she's supposed to trust, but the media fucked her over so bad and nobody talks about it.
No, nobody talks about it, especially because, like, every time you see Britney in the press is about something negative. And it's always been, like, especially lately, it's been like, oh, her conservatorship. Who's going to get all the money? Who's in charge of this? Who's in charge of that? And
Kill a queen.
Yeah. But she just put out new music, so that's pretty cool.
I know. It's because she's a legend. She'll never die.
Yeah, exactly.
She absolutely is a legend. Listen, I came up in the music of the 70s and 80s, and I respect very much what she's done. She's a complete artist. Now, we for some reason I can't see you on the screen today, but Jeremy can. But let us talk about the new song in your career. So first of all, we got the new song "Shut Me Up." Already 500,000 views. Talk to me about making music, because you do it all. You've got the book, you've got the website, you've got the YouTube, you got it all.
You sound like such a dad, Mitch. I love it.
Well, I know that's the whole vibe here. There's dad talking to you, and then there's you, the on-air guy who actually has to be on air in 30 minutes.
Are you a dad, Mitch?
I am. I have a 17-year-old who is a big, Pop Smoke, Post Malone, all that fan, and a 14-year-old. So
I thought you were saying pot smoking, and I was like, okay, nice qualifier.
No, Pop Smoke. She was rocking around in her Pop Smoke T-shirt yesterday. But hey, but you know what? I have to say, I really appreciate that stuff, because whenever I drive her back and forth to work, we listen to Heat on Sirius or what are the other ones on Sirius?
2K. There's like a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, we listen to all of those, and I gotta say, it's given me a great appreciation for that music. And listen, your new single "Shut Me Up" is fantastic. It's just a fun song.
Thank you. That's honestly what I'm really going for. Is I just want to have fun with my music. I feel like I went through an era of so much. Like everything was so heavy and so emotional, and I like that I can write emotionally, but sometimes you just really want to have music that you can just dance to or vibe to or chill to.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And that's exactly what you're delivering. So let me ask you this. Last night, and I'm going to brag here, I got verified on Twitter, so it's very exciting.
Hell yeah.
I know. Jeremy's not there yet, but I got verified.
With airlines now, if you tweeted an airline with a verified check mark, you will get a response immediately.
You see, that's funny, because I was now that I'm in the verified club, I was asking people in the verified club via Twitter yesterday, do I get free coffee? Do I get a discount at Costco or anything? So we get airlines responding to us.
Yes, very quickly.
Yeah, it's better than TSA pre-check, Mitch.
See, that's fantastic. But Gabbie, talk about, how did you become how did you win a Streamy Award? How did you become an internet personality? Because I've done my own thing, but I don't have 1 billion views on YouTube. I mean, listen, I got 178,000 this month. I'm happy. But how do you build it up?
It was honestly, I mean, obviously I had hard work and dedication, and I did really set my mind to it, but I have to be honest and say that a lot of it was being in the right place at the right time. I came up on Vine when it was super poppin', and it was easy to get big because there weren't that many people on there. And then I just kind of moved from one platform to the other while I was there. So yeah, it definitely was being out there, putting myself out there, working hard and dedicating my entire life to creating content. It's all I did for 5-6 years was just create. But it was.
I mean, that's
it was,
the rule, right? Content is king.
Content is absolutely king. You have to just get that shit out there.
Well, how did you decide what kind of content you were going to be creating? Because I mean, there's so many people out there trying to do exactly what you're doing, and they're just not, getting noticed.
Yeah.
What is it about the content that you do that kind of like sets you apart from everybody and allowed you to become Gabbie Hanna?
I think that when I first started, it was I had so little social awareness and no shame. And now when I look back at it, 6-7 years later from when I started, I look back at what I was doing and I was like, okay, I would never do that today, because I didn't really have any idea of what the real world implications of saying things publicly would mean. But I think that's what initially really pushed me forward. I don't think that that's my tactic when going into music and working on the poetry and the writing. I think that I am evolving as a person, but as far as, getting big on the internet, it was just about being obnoxious. If I'm being honest, I never shut the fuck up.
Right. And, that led to some New York Times best-selling books, and, you got the music, and it's like, you're kind of like an onslaught of the senses. It's like you got all the bases covered.
Well, you have to. You got to bring as many people under the tent as possible, and you got to get a little bit of everybody. I mean, there's no denying that.
And for me, it was always just about trying everything, because I had so many interests that, like, growing up, you think, oh, I want to be an actor or a writer or an artist or whatever it is. And most people don't ever try. So whenever I had the opportunity to try everything, I tried everything. And there's some things that didn't pan out because my passion wasn't there, or it just wasn't for me. I wasn't good enough at it. Like, I did a lot of hosting and I did some acting. Those were things that I said, okay, I tried it. I liked it, but it's not something that I'm so passionate about that I want to put everything into it. But, music and poetry and art, those are the things that stuck with me and really fed me every day.
So those are your, that's your triangle right there. You got your music, poetry, and your art. And that's basically what you focus your content on then.
Yeah. So now it's definitely different content than it used to be. But it's what is making me happier. I feel like my early 20s were all about just the excitement of getting the exposure and building the platform and getting some attention after a lifelong of none. And now I'm less interested about the views and the likes and more interested in getting more dedicated personal, followers and a fan base who actually fucks with my music and my writing. Because I can't expect the people who loved me when I was 22 telling obnoxious storytime videos to fuck with my music. They're just
See?
Yeah,
my daughter loved you when you were the obnoxious 22-year-old. Because I said, I've got Gabbie Hanna. I used to watch her all the time. I go, yeah.
Tell her to come back over to the new channel. It's way cooler.
But that's the thing, it's like you kind of want to hold on to some of those old people, but it's like the new fans that are going to come in and trying to develop a community around the new music. It's like those are the diehards that are going to show up, sit in the queue online, buy your tickets, buy the meet and greets, buy the whole thing. They'll be there for all of it, so.
Yeah,
makes sense.
It was honestly a little difficult. There was definitely a transition period, and I'm still going through it, where you get used to a certain amount of, views or likes, and that was the thing that was exciting. But then as you start changing your content, obviously not everyone's going to come with you. But I kind of look at it right now as I'm starting over. I did the social media thing. I'm starting over as an artist and a musician, and I'm lucky enough to already have a dedicated fan base, and it'll grow. But it's going to be a lot of work and a lot of time, but I'm excited to do it.
Yeah. And the music is really good, man. I mean, like, we were just talking about Britney, and like, I find the song, Shut Me Up, it's kind of like a cross between, some early 2000s punk pop, but it also has modern sensibilities to it. Like, you got a real drum kit on there and some guitars and,
Thank you for noticing. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Are you like a rock chick? Like, who are some of your influences, like, in your music world?
Totally. So my music inspirations have always been Queen, Panic at the Disco, My Chemical Romance. I do love male leads and rock bands, just sonically, obviously, personally. I love the fucking women leading the game, but sonically, I love what men do often. So I actually was going for the early 2000s pop punk, Taking Back Sunday, that type of energy.
Blink 182 kind of like things in there.
Yeah, like it's pop music, but it has that little bit of a rock edge where all of like the real rockers say, "That's not fucking rock," but then everybody else is like, "Hell yeah!"
Well, no, I like the song because, like you said, it's pop, but it's also rock. You're doing like on the record what the artist would have done live. Like the album version would be super pop, and then live they would do this arrangement where it's got guitars and real drums. So you're doing it the right way from the beginning. So
well, the live arrangements are always so much cooler.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so put the real drum on it. Why the fuck not? It's so much cooler.
You listen to a Justin Bieber song on the radio, and it's like, okay, cool, it's got the 808, but then you go live, and he's got a badass band, and like it sounds so much better.
Totally.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I want to bring live instruments back into pop. Obviously, I'm not like forging any new path here by using new instrument or live instruments, but they're not common enough on the radio unless you're listening to like an alt station or a rock station, and they sound so much better. And also, you're just able to put so many more musicians on the map and give them jobs too, because like it's too easy to sit at a computer. And no hate to anybody who's just my producer does all samples and shit like that, but I just love an analog instrument.
Let me ask you about that when it comes to your voice then, because when I listen to when I drive my daughter to work and she's listening to all those channels, there is auto-tune all over the place, and it's like, can't you just sing? Like we don't have singers anymore. So where are you in terms of vocal acoustic vocal, for the lack of a better word? Like, are you about the real vocal, or do you have a little? Do you still think that's okay?
I use a little bit of tuning for sure. But what my producer does, and I fucking love her for it, and this is why I choose to work with this duo over and over and over again, is as opposed to tuning a vocal, she will 100% of the time prefer me to do it 90 times and get it right than to tune it. Obviously, there's touch-ups on the track, especially if there's something where I absolutely love the performance on it, but I'm a little bit flat or I'm a little bit sharp. Then sometimes I'll say, give me that vocal because that one has the emotion that I want on it. Yep. But for the most part, the vocals on my track are very, very softly touched. When it comes to live performance, that's something I still have a lot to overcome in terms of confidence, and I haven't had really any opportunities this past year.
Well, hold on, slow down here. You're talking about confidence. You have 1 billion views. You got 2.5 million Twitter followers. Why are you not? Obviously you're doing something right. You should. I look at my stuff and his stuff, and we have nowhere near that. Why are you not more? You have the ability. You've proven it.
I think I just more so mean I respect incredible singers so much, and I take the craft of singing so seriously, and like I work with my vocal coach 2-3 times a week. But when it comes to confidence of stepping on stage in front of people and not getting nervous and not prepping for a big note as if my life depended on it, I have a lot of work to do because I haven't had the practice.
Yeah.
So.
Well, listen, the first note is always going to be flat as soon as you hit the stage. So, but Mitch, to go back into your point about talking about auto-tune and stuff, it's not even necessarily a tool to fix people that are flat or not. It really is just like a stylistic thing that is just very common in modern music production. Like you listen to Dua Lipa, okay? I'm exposed to her music on a nightly basis on my radio show, and you listen to a song like Levitating, and it's super disco. It's there, you got real bass and it's funk, and you hear her vocal performance on there. It's a straight up really nice vocal performance.
Yes.
But obviously it's got tuning on there just because that's the sound of the radio. Live, she sounds incredible. So some artists, yes, they do need it, but it's like it really is just the sound at the end of the day.
No, you're right. And I took my daughter out to see Dua Lipa, and she was fantastic. What an incredible artist. She was magical. I'll straight up tell you. The only auto-tune that I worry about is sometimes on some of the tracks I hear it's just so robotic.
Well, yeah, that's all like on the hip hop stuff.
Right, and it's just like, slow it down. Like, let's get back to Smokey Robinson. Let's get back to whoever, like this, like, back it up a bit.
Right. There's a couple of great artists.
Is auto-tune, then like T-Pain, like his style is just straight up auto-tune. And if it's a stylistic thing, I think it's fine. But at the end of the day, like auto-tune can't make somebody a good singer. You're going to hear it. You're either hitting the note pretty fucking close or else it's not fixable. So I give a lot of people a pass.
Yeah, totally. And, at the end of the day, a concert's just about going and have some fun. It's like, who cares if it's 100% perfect, Yeah. It's all about in the moment.
I agree. I think it's all about the experience rather than this guy was this or that guy.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. Just real quick, Shut Me Up is a preview of a new album coming out.
Mm-hmm.
When does that album come out? Stylistically, are you sort of experimenting with different styles, or is it like a whole pop and dance thing? When does it come out? The whole thing.
So let me tell you what a flop I am. I really fumbled the release of the album, probably because I actually haven't announced this yet, but there's this big thing happening in my music career that's not announced. That is, I'm basically going to be working with a team now to really plan a better rollout. So I don't know the exact release date, but I'm hoping it's going to be early 2021. I've been talking about this album since 2018, then put out 2 EPs instead. So hopefully early 2021. Genre-wise, you'll hear more like Shut Me Up and Call Me Crazy that have those early 2000s pop punk vibes, but I love theater. I love 80s rock. I love Queen. So there's so many different sounds that'll range from pop to alternative to theater to rock to punk, and just some really interesting, like I have a Crash Test Dummies kind of homage on there where it's just kind of more storytelling.
Right.
There's a lot of influence that if I pointed it out to you, you'd be like, oh yeah, totally, I get the reference.
Right. Are we going to hear like some big, Def Leppard kind of backing vocals on the album? Are we going to do like a Bohemian Rhapsody kind of breakdown chorus in the middle? Or
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on structurally because I made my songs that I knew were radio friendly and have that kind of basic verse, bridge, chorus format.
The bubblegum.
I did a lot in terms of playing with, time changes and random breakdowns, post choruses, outros, and I think you guys are gonna really like it.
So are you writing and producing it with in mind a show?
Oh, always. Yeah. The first thing that always comes to mind is what is this going to look like when I'm performing it, be it the music video or a concert. And I really want it to feel like a strange hybrid of like Trans-Siberian Orchestra meets Broadway meets a rock concert.
Wow.
It's gonna be so fucking cool.
That's awesome.
That is great. Just real quick, in terms of career, because you're talking about music, but you do have the book, you did have the internet. Are you now focusing more on the music career, or do you still do everything else? And at some point, does it distract from one another? I mean, does it water down each, or are you just that good that you have that ability to go, no, I can be everything?
Yeah. Do you have to like sit there and create a schedule? Like, okay, today vlog at 12:25, jazzage, 6:27, dinner with myself. I can't cancel that. Like,
yeah. So this is actually something that my life has drastically changed this year, as have all of ours, and it's
correct.
Emotionally and creatively been really good for me because I was the person who was doing everything and everything was getting a fraction of my attention. Right. So like my YouTube videos were suffering, my music was suffering, and my writing was suffering. This year, I'm taking a huge step back from YouTube and social media and focusing solely on the music. There's not another book coming out anytime soon, but Dandelion is out. Like Dandelion took so much fucking time. I've been working on that for 2.5 years before it came out. The illustrations alone take months and months and months. But now I'm focusing on music, and when my creativity pulls me in a direction, like painting, for example, I quit whatever I'm doing. I stopped daily uploading on my vlog channel, and now I'm painting because that's where I feel emotionally pulled. So it's just wherever I'm inspired the most is where I'm going. And that's not what I used to do at all.
Well, that's not a bad thing because at the end of the day, sure, it's a career and all, but you also want to have some fun and you want it to be pleasurable. If it becomes too much of a task, you're just like, oh, fuck this.
Yep. That's what my manager actually gave me, that aha moment where I was so stressed all the time and just kind of working to get to the next goal. And he said, I have to tell you, if you're not enjoying the process, you're not going to enjoy the success. And it was like a light bulb went off in my head where I was like, what the fuck am I doing here? I'm having fun. And now I'm having fun.
Which is awesome. And you can even see it in your face and the excitement of you talking about it. Like, it's so cool to see someone. Yeah, I know. Mitch can't see it.
I can't see her, which is weird.
She's glowing. She's so excited. And it's so cool to see someone genuinely excited about something going on in their life.
Whenever we do these 3-ways, I get the one who gets the no screen. It's bizarre.
Yeah, Mitch, whenever we do 3-ways, you always never get to see.
Now, in terms of the music style, Jeremy, is that something that you can play on your station? Because your station's Hot AC, right?
Yeah, we're Hot AC. I could definitely play a clip of it. It's weird because that's the other thing. Are you writing these songs for like trying to get radio play? Because radio still pays a lot more than streaming does. So it's like, are you going in with the consciousness saying like, oh God, like I wonder if I'm gonna get this played on like Star 94.7 or like, is Delilah gonna play this song for me or
No, I've gotten some like radio play here and there, but I've never gone into a release hoping that it gets played. So then when it does, it's just such an insanely humbling and exciting feeling. And I know that I have so much career ahead of me that when it's supposed to happen, it's going to happen. So it's not something I hope for. It's something I'm grateful for, because at the end of the day, there's so many ways to access music. And yeah, it's awesome to have a radio hit, but I can still be a really successsul musician without one.
Well, look at what the music video is already doing. I mean,
500,000 in a month.
Yeah, I know. Thank you. That was a really rushed release, so I'm happy that it's.
And Dandelion #5 on the New York Times bestseller list. So.
Yes, I know, that was really exciting too. It's been a great year in terms of. It was the worst year of my life for so many reasons, and it ended up being the absolute best year of my life. So you know how that goes.
Yeah. And I'll ask you this because we got to wrap up in a second. But you talked about a team. Does the team roll out a strategy for you? Like, okay, in December we're going to do interviews, and then in January we're going to go do streaming events, and then in March we're like, how do they set you up for success?
Well, I've never had a team before. This is my first time.
But you do now.
Yeah, so this is my first time that I'm going to be working with people. So as far as strategy, the past few years, I've never had one. And I think I'm going to be having one soon. I'm so impatient and I love instant gratification. So I used to literally shoot a music video and 2 days later put it out. Like it was turn around fast. Now I have people telling me you have to upload it to the platforms a month in advance, and we have to make sure the music video is shot before that. And I'm like, oh my God. Make
sure everything's on brand.
Yeah.
Oh God, that drives me crazy. I like organic. Organic works.
You know what, Gabbie? It's funny you say that because I'm 26, okay? And I think it's just our generation that are just so neurotic that we just want that instant gratification and those likes and those views. It's like I do something, I immediately need to put it up, and it's just like, oh, well, you know what? If I wait, maybe I'll get more people to see it tomorrow at a certain. It's like it's constantly fucking with your head. It's
social media. It's that whole thing, especially coming from I was putting out a YouTube video, it goes viral immediately, and then I have this song that I've been sitting on for 2.5 years. It's so hard.
Yeah. Well, I'm super excited to hear this new album that you got coming out early next year, which is great. So go check out the new single, music video on YouTube. Also catch her at Hudson News at LAX and pick up her books.
Yeah. And Jeremy, give her a spin tonight on your channel. I don't want to mention the brand, but go ahead. Yeah, give it a spin.
Yeah. Why not?
Thank you.
There you go. Gabbie, an absolute pleasure. It's unfortunate I can't see you, but I will when the video gets done because Jeremy's able to record.
I recorded it.
It's been an absolute pleasure. I hope you had a good time. Thank you.
Yeah, you're gonna have to give us a shout out and pimp us out on your Twitter or something.
Obviously, that's a given. You guys just made me look so cool.
That's right. And we're part of the verified club, not Jeremy, but you and I. We understand each other. I'm gonna get some free airline tickets later. That's what I'm gonna be working on.
If I tag Jeremy, he'll get verified too, and then he can also complain to the airlines.
Oh, that'll be good. That's the plan. Yeah. Well. See, Jeremy, how it's a cabal. We get together as verified people, and we work for you. That's how it works.
I hate you both.
I know.
Thanks, Gabbie. It was so cool to meet you.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me, guys. I had a great time.
Cheers.
All right.
Bye-bye. Bye.